right, y'all. It's Club 50 Sports, and we are headed to the association. Oh man, as a Heat fan, this breaks my heart. This truly does. It
It kills
stems
them.
down to the very depths of my heart to see this novela, this soap opera that we have going on here in Miami. Jimmy Butler has been acting all kinds of ways. He's out of sorts at this point, and it seems as though he will not be with the team very longer. The team has suspended Jimmy Butler for 7 games for conduct detrimental to the team. He's he's been kicking up quite a bit of dust, Manny. Um, and it seems like this has been going on for a little while.
Yeah,
So my question to you is, and maybe you can kind of give us some shine some light on this. Who's to blame for this breakup, this ugly back and forth between Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat?
I don't. I'm gonna have to say it's Pat Riley, Adam. As much as we like The Godfather, um, even though I will say this about The Godfather, what I love about The Godfather is that he is not going to cripple your franchise financially, like he did it with Shaq, he did it with Dwayne Wade. He was not going to pay those guys when they were not worth it. Having said that, if you know that you're not going to sign this dude in the offseason or give him a extension, why drag him along and say, you know what, Jimmy, thank you very much for your services. We really appreciate for what you have done for us in this city, but you don't fit in our future plans, and we are going to have to cut bait. Put here on this list what teams you want to go to, and we are going to try to get to there. And this is where I think Pat Riley has failed. I would have traded him. I would have traded Jimmy Butler during the offseason because you know that you're not going to extend him because he's not worth that type of money. Jimmy wants 50 for 3 or 4 years. He's not worth it. So if I'm Pat Riley, I would have traded him a long time ago. So for this to be dragging along, it has to be Pat Riley's fault. It is Pat Riley's fault. What do you say, Adam?
I have to agree with you on this one. We've seen some nasty breakups in the past with Pat Riley, with superstars. We saw it with LeBron James.
Also, that too.
We saw it with Dwayne Wade.
Hmm.
Before, of course, he came back to Miami. And now we're seeing it with Jimmy Butler. I think that the Godfather sometimes Pat Riley just kind of has his ways of doing things,
Yeah.
and it doesn't always end well when it comes to these superstar players. I feel like these types of things could have been hashed out. I don't feel as though he's ever gotten Jimmy the second guy that he's needed to get to where Jimmy wanted to go, which is ultimately a championship. I believe that Jimmy Butler wanted to win the championship. I think that that was the biggest thing um, at the forefront of his mind. And
Right.
he thought that Pat Riley could ultimately get him there. But what changes has the Miami Heat made over since the pandemic, since the bubble?
Right.
He hasn't made any big moves. He hasn't brought. We've had Bam since then. We've had Hero since then. Uh, but we've talked about this in previous segments. The Miami Heat need another whale. You're not going to get there off the backs of Jimmy Butler. And playoff Jimmy is great, but you have to understand the exhaustion that you put on him in the 82 game season when he's not when he doesn't have the support that he needs over the course of a long season. So I definitely agree with you on this one. It's definitely Pat Riley. I think Jimmy's given a lot. He's given a
Yeah.
lot in terms of like the wear and tear he puts on his body, but you know what can you do?
No, and you we both love Paraliano. Since he got introduced to this franchise years ago with his goggles. If you remember, 1995 or 1996, I want to say. Um, but sometimes he has put us in a very in a bind when it comes to cap situation because this is where we have been the past 4 years with Jimmy Butler. That's why we haven't gotten a well because we don't have trade assets. We don't have cap space to accommodate, and this is where we are today. This is where we are. This is why we should have traded Jimmy a long time ago. So maybe we could probably trade for somebody else, yada yada yada. It hasn't happened yet, and hopefully, uh, Pat comes to his senses and says, "You know what? Let's just cut bait and let's just start all over, and let's just try to work to see if we could get a well in the next 2 seasons, so we can go back again and make a deep playoff run." You
And
know,
maybe we can get some
correct,
draft capital for Jimmy as well. So
correct. That's what I'm hoping for us as Heat fan. That's what we want. We want draft capital. Um, and hopefully Pat gets it done. In the next couple of weeks, so we won't drag this thing along throughout the season because it's a
he's traded before. He's traded before the suspension is over. He's gone
yeah,
before.
yeah,
He's played his last game as a Miami Heat.
yeah. So guys, let us know what you think. If it's Jimmy, if it's Pat, give us your intake, guys. Please let us know what you think. And Club 50 Sports will be right back.